Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on Android app development for beginners. In the last video, we have seen how to design a simple login app in Android Studio. So we have completed in the last video the design part of our simple login app. In this video, we will see how to write the code behind this button or login button so that we can perform some actions or validate username and password and then perform some action on button click. So let's get started. Now once we have completed our design, now we will go to the Java folder here, and in here we will go to the login.java folder. Okay, so we already designed our login page here. So what you can do is you can go to the login, open login from here, or directly go to the Java folder and in here go to login.java folder. Okay, and this is the Java code behind that login page activity, right? Now in here we are going to declare some variables inside our login class, and then we will add a button action perform method to our onCreate method. So let's declare some variables. We will declare two edit text boxes for username and password, and we will declare one text view for attempt and for one for button. So let's do this. So now we have declared all our variables. I have declared one extra variable here which is called int attempt counter. So we want to provide minimum attempt or maximum attempt to the user, so that for example, we just want to provide 5 attempts to the user to try login and password, and if these attempts are gone, then we want to do some other option, right? So now our variables are declared, and now we are ready to create our button click event. So I will name my method as public void login button, and in here we will just cast all these variables which we have declared here. So we will cast a username, password, and the attempt and the button variables. So now we have casted all our 4 variables which we have declared here, and now we are going to add the button click event to our login button, and on the basis of this button click event we are going to decide some action. Okay, so let's take this button and create a button click event. So login button dot set on click method, or set on click listener, and then we will create a new on click listener, and inside this on click method we are going to write our code. So first of all, we want to check the text in the username and password. So we will just write if the password, so we will get the text from the username text field. So username dot get text, and then we will convert it to the string, and then we will check if it's equal to some predefined username. So dot equals, and we will check if it's equal to a keyword, for example user. Okay, or you can predefine your own username, right? And we also want to check the password, so we will give the and we will check for the password also. Okay, so inside this if, we will add this and condition, and then we will add for same for the password. Okay, so I'm going to copy this code and paste it here, and here we will check for the password is equal to pass, for example. Okay, so what we are doing in this if condition, we are taking the text from the user in the user text field and the password text field, and we are matching if the user name entered is user and password entered is equal to this string called pass. And then if it's true, then what we are going to do is we are going to perform some action. So let's perform some action. We will just add a toast. Okay, now this is for the condition where username and password is correct. If the username and password is wrong, here we can, if the username and password is correct, we can also redirect this activity to the second user. This we will see in a moment, but let's define the else condition for this first. So else, what we are going to do here is we are going to reduce the number of count, right? Because we have defined maximum number of count is equal to 5 here, right? So we can reduce the number of count if the login is failed. So what we are going to do is, first of all, we will show some message to the user that username and password is not correct. And then what we are going to do is we can reduce the number of attempts. So we can just reduce this counter by 1. So attempts minus minus, this will reduce the number of attempts by 1. And if the counter is 0, we are going to disable if this counter is equal to 0. Then what we are going to do is we are going to disable this login button so that user cannot log in anymore. Dot set enabled is equal to false. Okay, so this is this condition we are going to write here. If the username and password is correct, we are going to show this message that username and password is correct. Otherwise, if the username and password is not correct, we are going to show this message that the username and password is not correct, and we are going to reduce this counter by -1. And then we are going to if the counter is 0, then we are going to disable this button, right? Now we are going to call this method in our onCreate method. So copy this method and paste it in onCreate. And here I can see some error, so I just want to change this edit text to text view, because this text view for attempt count is a text view, not edit text. Now we will add the code to open the new activity when username and password is correct. So if this username and password is correct, below our message that username and password is correct, we are going to create an instance of intent I, or whatever name you want to give, is equal to new intent, and as an argument we will pass the path to our second activity for the user. So just open your Android manifest.xml file which we have edited last time, and in here just see what name we have given here. So just copy this name from here, Android colon name is equal to whatever the name is. This should start from com.example dot whatever name you have given. Okay, and in this login we will just in the intent instantiation we will just paste this path here. Okay, so we have pasted this path, and now we just want to start our activity, okay, using this intent. So start activity and just pass this intent as an argument. Okay, one more thing we want to do here is we want to set the count to attempt text box, right? So what we can do here is we can take this attempt inside this login method, and just below the casting of these variable attempt dot set text, and we will set text is equal to whatever is the counter or current counter right now. So this is our counter, and we will convert this counter to text first. Okay, so we will pass it like this, integer dot then to text and then our counter here. Okay, so now what you need to do is once you have printed the number of attempt, just copy this code from here, and we also want to reduce the number of count and set this text to the attempt text box in the else condition. So once if the username and password is correct or not correct, we will reduce the counter and set the text to our attempts text box here, right? So just paste this here. Okay, so this attempt.set text you paste it 2 times, once at the starting after the casting of all the variables here, and second after the reduction of this counter by 1 in the else condition. Now we are going to run our program. So now our app is running, and now we are going to enter username and password. Remember, username should be user and password should be pass in order to a successful login, right? So we will enter first of all successful username and password or correct username and password, and if the username and password is correctly entered, when we press this login button, you see it shows this message username and password is correct, and we are redirected to the next page. Now let's try to enter some random username and password, and let's see the response. Okay, so once we enter the random username and password, and when we click this login button, it reduces the attempts and it shows username and password is not correct. Once again, username and password is not correct, and it reduces the attempts once again, and last time when we click login, once the attempts becomes 0, then this login button is no more active. Okay, so it's disabled. So in this way you can make a simple login application using Android Studio. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.